welcome everybody to today's presentation. Thank you so much for showing up. It's really nice to see a lot of people interested in sugar. And today's topic is Beat the Sugar Blues. Coach Zarah Martin is very good at what she does. She's got vast knowledge. I'll let her speak for herself here in a second. I just wanted to thank you guys so much for coming out here. And go ahead, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for coming. My name is Zarah. I'm a health coach, so I'm a certified integrative nutrition health coach. But my background really is in kind of coaching people with meditation. I think that's a really big, important aspect of improving your nutrition through stress reduction. So what we're going to talk about today specifically is, how you can kind of lessen your sugar intake and then also improve your stress levels, which I think everybody, including myself, I love sugar. So everybody loves sugar, something sweet. So how can we sweeten our lives on an emotional level to help stop eating so much sugar on a physical level? So that's what we're going to talk about today. So yeah, I'm a newer health coach, but I have been working with clients as a massage therapist and meditation teacher for over 12 years. So I love being able to help people improve their lifestyle and just overall health. So thank you guys so much for coming out today. I really appreciate it. Can you not hear me?
Can everybody hear her?
No. Make it louder.
You want to come down a little closer?
No.
Okay. Well,
Do you think the mic is okay? Yeah? Okay.
I don't think the mic is on.
it's not working.
Oh, that helps. That's why.
But we will speak with vigor and.
I'll speak a little louder.
Okay, that's very nice.
Okay. So yeah, let's get started. So, the biggest thing about curbing your sugar craving that we're going to talk about today is adding fiber into your diet and also bitters. Bitters are a type of prebiotic, and fiber is one of the most important things because sugar in our whole foods, in fruit and vegetables, and our whole food carbohydrates come with fiber naturally. So if you kind of break down the most simple fruit and vegetable based diet, you're already getting the fiber that you need to break down that sugar. So let's just go into the first slide. So sugar in the body, most of it's broken down through carbohydrates. So when we eat sugar, also called glucose, the glucose is the main fuel for our cells. So we need sugar. That's why we crave sugar. We really need it for our fuel and our cells. But what happens is that if we don't have that fiber that naturally comes with berries and things like in our onions and leeks and our potatoes, that naturally comes with fiber. If we don't have that fiber because we're getting the sugar in an artificial way in processed foods, then we don't have that fiber to break down the sugar and it gets stored in our liver. That's how we get things like fatty liver. That's how we get things like, high blood pressure, how we get things like high cholesterol, is because our body isn't functioning properly and it isn't able to absorb that sugar properly. So it's really important for us to get that fiber. So let's just go back a little bit and look at something like insulin. What's insulin doing for our body? Insulin is a hormone, right? We all know insulin helps to break down sugar. When you have something like diabetes or pre-diabetes, your body isn't producing insulin in the proper way, so we have to add insulin, like through injections or other things, tablets, to be able to have that hormone to break down the sugar. So a lot of times what's happening is the reason your body isn't getting enough insulin or producing enough insulin is because we don't have that fiber or that prebiotic, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. So this just kind of goes over a little bit, which we already know. The pancreas secretes the insulin breaks down the sugar to be able to get into the cells so our body has energy. So the next thing that's really important is that if your body isn't getting enough proper fiber, and if it's getting too much sugar, you're not going to be able to sleep, right? You're waking up at 2 to 5 in the morning because your body is craving that sugar because it doesn't have the fiber to break it down. So before we go any further, sleep is a really big issue for most people, right? Because we're stressed, we wake up with anxiety, or we're just waking up but we don't even know why. So I just want to go over and just kind of bring Lewis into this a second and just kind of go over as a group, what is our relationship with sugar? How are we eating too much sugar, or how are we not getting the nutrients like fiber or prebiotics that we need to break down that sugar? So we all have some type of relationship with sugar. We eat too much of it, we crave it, we all have that. So I'm just going to bring it over to Lewis a little bit. What do you feel like your relationship with sugar is? Just a story, how do you bring it back to that? Yeah.
So remember in the pool yesterday, who went out there? Yes. We were talking a little bit about my horrible, I had a really bad, I honestly probably think it was an eating disorder. Everything was bad, everything was Snickers and a Coke. Like I told you guys, was my lunch for many years growing up. So it's just so bad for you. Like I'm pretty sure I was borderline diabetic, but I know, obviously you guys know I had asthma and had bronchitis as well. It's all just inflammation. It was all just a byproduct of the bad relationship I had with food and sugars. And then when I started learning more, it was not that all sugar is bad for you. There's a very specific way to be able to see what's healthy and what's not healthy. But yeah, I had a horrible relationship with sugar. Terrible. Honestly.
So and just on a personal level, my relationship with sugar, I still eat sweet things. I still, love to have sugar at least once or twice a week. But the big thing, like Lewis said, is that it's the artificial sugar that is really causing a lot of the issues. So, just by looking, very simple, we're going to go over in a little bit, just by looking at the ingredients and how much sugar that you're actually consuming is going to help you immensely. Like if you see something like fructose or high fructose corn syrup, that has no fiber in it. What they're doing is taking the sugar out of corn or taking the sugar out of fruit and then putting it into that processed food. Not all processed foods are bad. There are some processed foods that have natural sugars or that have the fiber in it so you can break down the sugar. But it's when you see those artificial sugars, that's the problem. If once or twice a week you have something sweet, of course, always better to have fruit because it naturally has the fiber, but it's okay to have something sweet if you can read the ingredients. If you know the ingredients are in your cupboard or in your pantry, and you say, okay, this is sugar, I know where this comes from, sugar cane or comes from fruit sugar, that's okay to eat. It's when you're getting the artificial sweeteners that's the biggest problem. So when you lessen your sugar intake, you will actually improve your sleep as well. So there's an immense amount of improvements in your life that you can have when you reduce your sugar intake. So a lot of people, I would say the general consensus is that our resting or fasting blood sugar is actually recommended higher than what I'm putting on this slide. So this slide, they say when you take your fasting or resting blood sugar, it should be 85 mg or DL. A lot of people say 100 or over is okay. I personally, as a integrative nutrition health coach, I would say 85 or lower is best. Most people are not at 85 even at fasting, meaning fasting like 5 to 6 hours, they're still having a really high blood sugar number. So if you can get it down to 85, that's going to be your best number or lower at that fasting or resting rate. So just something to add in, which I've been talking about with the fruit, adding in berries instead of eating a piece of cake, or adding in berries instead of eating a piece of pie, or getting a cookie from a box. If you keep berries in your refrigerator all the time, that's going to save you a huge amount of money, but also it's going to improve your health so much because you're getting that fiber, you're getting that inulin, which is the name of the fiber that comes with fruit, and the fructose. So you're getting the energy for your cells, but you're getting the fiber to break it down. So just a really good choice. I don't know why the picture disappeared. Sorry about that. There was a picture of berries, but it's not there anymore. Actually, all my pictures, I don't know what happened to them. Just want to talk about a little bit more about the insulin resistance. So I don't know if anybody's ever heard of insulin resistance. Maybe some of you have. Basically, what's happening in insulin resistance is your body's kind of fighting against itself. So it's kind of resisting against itself to not produce the insulin to break down that sugar. And the reason this is happening is because we're adding too much sugar to our diet on a day-to-day basis. If you look at everything from drinks to boxed foods, packaged foods, the amount of sugar is anywhere between 10 to 40 grams of sugar. If you look at a sugar cube, that's 4 grams of sugar. So that's a lot of sugar cubes if you're looking at something that says 40 grams of sugar. So if you think... So if you think about it, insulin resistance, the biggest problem with that is that your body then stops producing the insulin to break down the sugar, and then the sugar again, as I was saying earlier, ends up in your liver. So the two biggest organ systems that are really important are your liver, because it detoxes everything you put in your body, and your gut microbiome. So if your gut microbiome isn't functioning, you don't have the right bacteria or the fiber, the prebiotic fibers to break down your food. That undigested food then goes back to the liver, and the liver has to work even harder. So your liver is so important, and your gut is so important. So if we can work on strengthening those organs through supplementation, through diet, you're going to feel immensely better. Stress reduction will lower. You'll sleep better. You'll be able to digest your food better. So digestion, like bowel movements, will improve. You'll just feel overall more energy through the day. So this is just a little bit about the insulin resistance causing the blood sugar to go up or raise too high. So prebiotics to the rescue. Prebiotics are the number one thing. If you could take nothing else away from this, talk, is to increase your prebiotics. So how do we increase our prebiotics? What are prebiotics? I've been talking about them. So prebiotics basically is fiber. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard of Metamucil. That's a very common fiber that people take that has insoluble and soluble fiber. The fiber that we want to break down our sugar is insoluble fiber. That means that our gut can't break it down, and so it kind of acts as like a roughage to clean out the gut, but then it also allows our cells in our lumen layer or our gut lining to stay nice and strong, so we're not getting any of that bad stuff in the rest of our body. And prebiotics also just break down that sugar, which we keep talking about. That's really important. So by having those prebiotics, you lower your chances of getting type 2 diabetes, or if you have type 2 diabetes, it can improve and lower your blood sugar levels, or balance your blood sugar levels, I should say. So it's just really important to have that fiber in your diet. So if you are eating like a cookie that has fructose or high fructose corn syrup, I don't suggest it. But if you are having something like that and you add a prebiotic supplement to your diet, at least you have those prebiotic fibers to break down the sugar. So when you're out to dinner, you don't know, what you're getting, or maybe you do have like your favorite treat that you can't live without, or your favorite ice cream you can't live without. If you're getting that prebiotic fiber in a supplement form, you have the ability to break down those sugars. So that's the most important thing, is just getting that into your diet. Oh, go ahead.
Now that is not an excuse. Because I already see someone like, oh, okay, so I'll have an extra cookie today, and I see you with the little, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So it's not an excuse. You still want to, oh, yep, go ahead.
Aren't there quite a few natural foods that provide the prebiotics? You don't have to go to the store and buy Metamucil.
Exactly, yeah. Yep. So, and Metamucil is not really something I would recommend, just as an example. People have heard of that for taking fiber. Yeah. Metamucil I wouldn't suggest because there's a lot of additives we're going to talk about that aren't, I personally wouldn't suggest taking, but just as to think of the soluble and insoluble fiber. But absolutely. So something like fruit, which I've been talking about, berries are probably your number one because you're going to get that sugar fix, but you're going to get the fibers, the inulin fibers that you need to break down that sugar. So berries, keep them in your fridge. Blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, they have a ton, they're so nutrient dense and you're going to get that sugar fix. So absolutely, you're 100% right. There's tons of foods that have that natural sugar with the fiber in it, so you don't have to necessarily take the prebiotics.
Are there also teas, sipping teas like
that have inulin? Yes, there are a lot of teas that have inulin. Like if you do red raspberry leaf, that has some inulin in it. If you do blueberry tea, that has some inulin in it. You're not getting as much because it's dried, and it's always to have food in its most unprocessed form is best, but you are getting some inulin fiber in tea as well. Yeah.
They also sell fiber pills.
They do sell fiber pills. So the only thing is whenever you're taking any supplements, and I'm going to talk about some of the supplements that I love, is you might be getting some additive ingredients in there that you don't want. So just always look at the ingredients. If you can look at a label and be like, I don't even know what that says or what that is, maybe not the best supplement to take. Maybe it's something you never heard of, which is okay, but just always look at the ingredients. Okay, so then coming back to a little bit more about the prebiotics, just talking about how it can help with metabolic disorders. It also can improve your intestinal microflora. So your microflora is just your bacteria, right? It's just the bacteria in your small and large intestine. If this bacteria is diverse, meaning there's many different types, and if there's more good guys than bad guys, that's what you want. So taking a really good prebiotic and probiotic is so important. Of course, if you're eating a mostly vegetarian diet, you're getting all organic food, you know where all that food is coming from, maybe you don't have to supplement. I have a great diet, but I don't know where all my food's coming from, unfortunately. Most people don't. So supplementing with pro and prebiotics that come from a good non-GMO source is so important for your gut microflora and breaking down that sugar. So different types of probiotic or prebiotics. So as I was talking about with the fiber, and we're going to talk about my one supplement here that has two of these really great fibers. So the fructo oligosaccharide and the galacto oligosaccharide is a fiber.
There's going to be a test later.
Yep, everyone gets a quiz. So these fibers are so important, and inulin are so important to break down those sugars. Not only do they break down the sugars, but they feed the good bacteria. So if you have these prebiotics feeding the healthy bacteria, not only can you break down the sugar, the liver doesn't have to work as hard, you have better bowel movements, you can sleep better, and you just have overall less inflammation in the body. Our bacteria in our gut is probably the most important part of our whole body. If we have good, diverse, healthy bacteria, our whole health improves tenfold. So this is just giving some examples of what prebiotics are. And then how can prebiotics help? So, prebiotics can help, like I was saying earlier, with the metabolic disorders, with helping to lessen your likelihood of type 2 diabetes, or if you have type 2 diabetes, and also helping with hepatic glucose production. So hepatic is the liver. So basically, one of the biggest causes of fatty liver, people used to think that it was alcohol or a high-fat diet. It's actually sugar. So sugar is the biggest contributor to fatty liver. If you're eating a lot of sugar, it's more likely you're going to have harsh and negative effects on the liver. So liver support, also very important. And we're going to talk about some supplements that can really help with that too. And you can also, other things like weight loss, improved memory, lessen brain fog, all these things can be reduced or improved with lessening sugar. So another thing that prebiotics do, which is great, is they help you feel more full. So when we eat sugar, basically what's happening is that it's a spike in our blood sugar. So we get a lot of energy, we feel great, all the endorphins are rushing through our body, and then our blood sugar drops. And when our blood sugar drops, we don't feel good, we want to take a nap, we can get angry because we want sugar again because we want to feel those good endorphins. So what prebiotics do is they kind of even out the playing field of the insulin levels, or level out the playing field of our sugar spike, right? So our sugar won't spike because we have the fibers to break down the sugar to get to our cells. And so there's a nice even kind of wave with our blood sugar. So we don't ever feel that drop in blood sugar where we have to take a nap, or we feel that craving to want more sugar, or that kind of mood drop. So prebiotics are really important for that, and also making us feel more full as well. So let's go to what our best team is that we can do to help lessen our sugar intake. So the first thing I put in there, I wish I had my pictures, sorry. There's pictures on there. I don't know why they're not loading. Yeah. So the best thing for that you can do is fasting. Now, definitely always talk to your healthcare provider about fasting, because everybody's body is a little bit different. So the best thing about fasting is, even if you fast once or twice a week, the fast can be very short, right? So fasting can be simply not eating past 8 p.m. and then you don't eat again until 8 a.m. So even that is a 12-hour fast, and that's great for the body, because what that does is that's actually helping the body to revamp itself. It's helping the body to heal itself. If we're constantly putting food in our body, constantly snacking all day, it doesn't give our body a chance to heal. So our muscles need to heal, our liver, our small intestine, all these organs are really important to give the chance to heal through fasting. So even that 12-hour fast is really important. And if you can extend that a little bit, see how your body feels. Everybody is different. So stop eating at 8 p.m. at night, and maybe try not eating until 10 or 11 the next day. See how you feel. The first day that happens, you might feel, I'm so hungry, I really want to eat something. But just see how a few days go, and you might actually notice that you're less and less hungry as the days go on, and you actually feel more energized when you do eat. So the next thing is trying to lessen snacking. So, it's okay to have snacks, but they have found that having 3 good, strong meals a day really is the best diet to have. When you're snacking all the time, or you have 6 or 8 meals, again, it's really hard for the body to heal. So next time you want to reach for a snack, just try to have a glass of water, or water with lemon is really helpful, or water with lime or a little orange in it. It kind of curbs that sugar craving a little bit and prevents you from snacking all day. So it is important to get those 3 good, healthy meals, balanced meals. And then the other thing we talked about a little bit already is the soluble fiber. So it slows down that absorption of glucose, right? It has the liver working less hard, and it's just able to break down that sugar. So as we talk about the soluble fiber, I do just want to go around and just give you guys each one of these. This is a pre and probiotic. You don't have to take it. I'm going to talk a little bit about it, and you guys can come up at the end. Yeah, that would be great. You guys can come up at the end and look at the ingredients, but we're going to go over them as well. So what that is it's a soluble fiber soft chew, and it has stevia in it. So stevia is a plant. It's a natural sugar plant, and it doesn't spike your blood sugar. So it has that sweetness to it, but it's not spiking your blood sugar the way something like high fructose corn syrup would do, or artificial sweeteners. So it's a natural sweetener that's in there, so it gives you that little bit of sweetness. And it has a prebiotic, so it has those healthy fibers, right, to break down any sugars. And then it also has probiotics in there. So those probiotics are going to help diversify the microflora. It's going to help to break down any fats or leftover sugar that might be in your gut. and it's going to help diversify the microflora, so add new healthy bacteria. So they taste great. I love them. You get your pre and probiotic all in one, which is awesome. So you don't even have to think about it. If maybe you weren't eating that good that day, you know you're getting your fiber and you know you're getting your pre and probiotics. So I think they're a great alternative to taking a supplement because it's almost like you get a snack as well, but you're not having that artificial sweetener in it.
Would you recommend taking these with water or just on their own?
So I always recommend drink plenty of water, but you can take it on its own completely. Yep, you can take it on an empty stomach. But yeah, definitely always increase your water intake. You know, I mean, at least 6 to 8 glasses a day. But you know, making sure you're getting plain water and it doesn't have additives to it. So definitely, you know, stay hydrated. Okay. And then the next thing is, I was actually just talking about this. Yeah.
I'll send a picture to everyone of it, Fern. Yeah. That way everybody can have it. We'll have printouts too.
Where do you buy this?
So you can buy it right from me. So these products here, I sell all of these products, but so this product you can buy directly from me, basically. It's through a company called Microbiome Lab. So they specialize in microflora in the gut health, basically. So they specialize in gut health. So, yeah. Ooh.
And we'll do a Q&A at the end, but we'll also have handouts. That way you guys can have all her information.
Yep.
You can have ways to contact her just in case you do have obviously more questions, which is great to have questions.
Yeah.
But I just do want you to know that we will have a section for Q&A so you don't feel like you left and have all these questions and didn't get them answered.
And you can always email, text, or call me with any questions too. So I was just talking about this with Lewis the other day. He was sending me his workout routine, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. I was like, make sure you get your omegas with your protein. And he's like, I always do. So it's really important to have those omegas. So omega-3s help to also process glucose properly, but it also makes sure that the gut lining, so the lumen layer of your small and large intestine, is nice and strong. So what can happen sometimes if you have a lot of sugar is it can break down the gut lining. So your gut lining is just a single cell, basically, tissue. And so when you have too much sugar, it starts to break those cells apart. And when you break those cells apart, you can get that bad bacteria or that sugar into your bloodstream, which again spikes your blood sugar, causes the liver to work twice as hard. So what omega-3s does is it helps to tighten those cell junctions, which is so important because if you have a strong gut lining, anything that you're putting in your body is able to break down, digest, and get removed through your bowel movements. So omegas are so important. I do have an omega down there too. If you're not taking one, the omega that we have down there has all of the really good DHA and EPA, so it has really important omegas specific for your gut. And then the next thing I want to talk about as a herb, or you can use it in your food, which is awesome, is ginger, or you can drink it as a tea as well. So what ginger does is basically it helps to disperse what's needed in your cell throughout the cell. So what kind of can happen is that if you have not the best diet, your cells can kind of create a blockage so that the right nutrients aren't getting into the cell properly. So what ginger does is it kind of, through the GLUT4 receptor, it allows the dispersion of nutrients through the cell. Also, ginger is really great for supporting the liver. So ginger can be taken as a supplement, which I do have it down there, or you can just add it to your food. I think the Asian diets are so healthy because they add so much ginger, and Indian diets, they add so much ginger to their food, and it's really important as a digestive aid. It's really important for liver detox, and it's also really important for cell integrity. So if you can add more ginger to your food, organic is always better, but even just like grating ginger over soups or grating ginger over your salad, that's going to be a huge improvement for your liver and cellular health. And then the next thing is cinnamon. So cinnamon is so important to help the body mimic what insulin is doing. So cinnamon literally will help you break down your food. Yeah, if you could add cinnamon to your coffee, that's huge, because if you are adding sugar to your coffee, and you have cinnamon in there, that cinnamon is going to mimic what insulin does and break down that sugar. So I don't recommend sugar in your coffee, but if you have to have it, try to add some cinnamon to it. So that's great. Yeah, that's even better, because then if you have sugar through the day, you already had your cinnamon, so it's going to help break down. Perfect. Yeah, cinnamon is great. Then the next thing is magnesium. So magnesium does help to regulate insulin pathways. And the reason it does this is because magnesium is so healthy for the muscles in order for them to be able to function properly. So calcium contracts the muscle and magnesium relaxes the muscle. So magnesium relaxes the muscles and opens up those pathways so insulin can get through. So magnesium is great. Magnesium is really high in things like pumpkin seeds, in strawberries, bell peppers. So any of these foods you can add to your diet are really high in magnesium and great to not only help with regulating insulin pathways, but also help you to sleep as well. Magnesium is great for helping sleep.
Dark chocolate has a good amount.
Dark chocolate has a really good amount. That's very true. Yep.
That's something else they sell.
Sorry.
Probiotic pills.
Yep. So probiotic pills. Yep. So you take probiotics. Good. Yeah. So probiotics are so important. I'm going to go back to those in just a moment. And then increasing resistance training, and I was talking about that with Lewis as well. So yeah.
So what we do every day with the exercises, all the classes, all of it is beneficial. It's all connected. Our body needs a little bit of all of these things throughout the day in a balanced fashion to be able to work at 100%. So no, I'm not addicted to the pain like I've been hearing a lot of you saying when we're at the classes. But yes, I am usually scheming at night, thinking about what to do to give you a good resistance training workout. So there's a method to the madness, basically.
Definitely.
We do have to use judgment.
Absolutely. It's a balance. Always a balance.
So then I just have prebiotics on there again, curbing your sugar cravings, as we were talking about.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Sleep to yourself.
Yeah. So on a more energetic level, what's really important is that, we're craving sugar, of course, because it's just like in our faces all the time, right? We see advertisements for cookies, we see advertisements for all these sweet things. And so, or we're at the store, every aisle has something sweet in it. So we are inundated with it, of course. But then if you look at it on a more psychological level or emotional level, how can we be more sweet to ourselves? And I've tried this in my life, and it's really effective. And we're just going to do this for who we're next to as a partner. We're just going to take a moment and say something sweet to your partner. Or if you don't want to talk to your partner, that's okay. Say something sweet to yourself. So let's just take a moment. You could be a compliment.
Call up a good friend.
Exactly, yeah. So just saying something sweet to yourself every morning is going to actually lower your kind of cravings for something sweet in your body. So saying to yourself, I am beautiful. Saying to yourself, I am intelligent. Saying to yourself, I am strong. Saying to yourself, I have courage. Saying things like this, positive affirmations, really does lower your cravings for sugar. So just take a few moments and just go to your partner or say to yourself something encouraging or something sweet. So I'm just going to give you a moment or two.
Sorry, you're amazing.
I haven't been there in age. I haven't bought anything in years. My daughter sends me things.
Did everybody say something sweet to at least themselves? Yep, good. Okay, so.
People ask me what kind of medicine do I take?
Yeah.
I don't take medicine, I take vitamins.
Good for you. That's great. That's really good. That's really great.
I know that.
Yep, because the thing about vitamins is that we used to get all of our nutrients that we needed from our food, but our soil is depleted of nutrients now. We're not getting organic food the way we should be. People used to have, everyone would have a garden in their backyard, or the community would have a garden, right? So, and this was maybe only 50 to 100 years ago. We're not getting that today. So we need the supplementation as long as it's coming from a food source. These are just micronutrients we're putting in our body. So, like I said before, always look at the ingredients of your supplements, but supplements are really important for the day and age that we're living in today. Okay, so then we're just going to talk a little bit about the yin and yang, and then we're just going to do a little breath technique together to help balance the yin and yang in our body. So with yin food is sugar, and yin food are the other things I've listed, which is, local fruits, nuts, seeds, roots, winter squash, which does have sugar and inulin in it, like you were saying before about foods that have both the fiber and sugar in them. Beans, sea vegetables, so all these things are yin foods. And what are feminine foods? It doesn't mean like female, male. It's more just feminine is more receptive, and male is more active. So the yang foods are more active foods, like red meat, cheese, poultry, grains, eggs, sea salt, or salty foods. So basically what this is just, when you do have a sugar craving, adding something that's a little bit more yang in your diet, or try to choose the yang food, is going to help with the sugar craving as well. So basically, if you are really craving a cookie or a cake and you've been eating a lot of sugar lately, try something like eating a whole grain, like a flax grain or quinoa or whole grain rice. You'll get that sugar from the grain, but then you also have the fiber to break it down. And you might realize that the more you're switching to yang foods, the less sugar cravings you have as well. And so it's always good with yin and yang to balance that feminine and masculine energy in your body as well. So together, we're just going to do a little breath technique, which balances the yin and the yang. So the left side is considered the yin side, and the right side is considered the yang side. And this breath technique you can do in the morning because it is a little bit energizing and helps you think a little bit more clearer too. So it kind of clears out the brain fog a little bit. So what we're going to be doing in this breath technique in just a moment is we're going to all close our eyes, but we're going to be breathing in one nostril and out the other nostril. Then we're going to breathe in that same nostril and out the other one. So what this does is kind of brings the balance of the body together as one. So it brings some unity to the self or the center. And it can make you feel more centered as well. So what we're going to do, really simple, is we're going to hold down the more clogged nostril. So just right now, see what the more clogged nostril is. So mine's my right. So I'm going to hold down my right to make sure I get a nice, good breath on the open nostril. So we can just do one session together with our eyes open so we can kind of see what we're doing. Then we'll close the eyes. So I'm going to count to 4, and let's take a breath in the open nostril. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4, and then switch nostrils. Breathe out the other one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold that same nostril and breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4, and switch. Breathe out for 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And breathe in. Same nostril. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4, and breathe out the opposite. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And continue on your own counting. So breathing in for 4. You can close your eyes at this point or keep them open. And then holding for 4, and then you let out for 8. And continue for a few more rounds, and you can close your eyes, and even if you mess up the breath, totally fine. Just breathing in that 4, holding for the 4, and then breathing out for the 8. Just for another 30 seconds or so. And maybe one more round. And then we can finish off that last round. And you might notice after that, you feel more centered. If you do this in the morning when you wake up, not only will you feel centered, but it really will help to lessen brain fog as well. And you can even do that breath technique if you really do have real bad sugar cravings, that will help with that as well, because you're balancing that yin and yang and bringing yourself back to the center. So then just to wrap up, overall, the results for balance is bringing in more yang foods, adding more prebiotics, drinking more water, the resistance training. And then what's really important is crowding out those artificial sweeteners. And I'm going to print out for whoever wants. I have a really good article that you all can read and a really great just kind of paper about artificial sweeteners to avoid. So I'll give those out for whoever wants them. And then, just lessening your stress. So any anti-stress or lowering your stress activities is really important, like the breath technique. And then that's my information. So you guys can write that down, or we can print that out for you, whatever's easier. And then if you had anything that you wanted to add or anything like that?
Yeah. So everything's connected, as we've seen from beginning to end. It's all about balance. It's all about having a balance of exercising, having a balance of eating the good foods. Obviously, no one's going to never have a cookie, but it's a balance. So hopefully you guys got a really good outcome of this. Like she said, all her info's there. We'll have printouts for whoever wants it, printouts for the supplements, all of that stuff. And the plan is to have her come back once a month, so that way we can keep having presentations. And again, it's a mixture of not just the exercising we do here. That's why you always hear me saying breathe, drink plenty of water. Every time after our pool classes, we do a breathing technique after all that high intensity, just to kind of like recenter you. Again, there's a reason for what we do. It's not just to do stuff. There's purpose behind it. So definitely just keep doing what you guys are doing, because you're doing really, really well. And thank you so much for coming out here, guys.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Oh.
Yeah, any questions?
Yes.
I have a question. Those of us who take medication,
Mm-hmm.
the products, the supplements,
Mm-hmm.
now should we be careful and consult our doctor?
Always consult your doctor.
Because sometimes you never
Yep.
know what is in what.
Yep. The one thing I can say is that the pre and probiotics that I have here, there is no interaction with any medication unless you are on a certain anti-cancer or chemo medication. If you are on anti-cancer or chemo medication currently, check with your doctor no matter what. Always check with your doctor, 100%. But the only contraindication would be a chemo or anti-cancer medication for these pre and probiotics. So I can say that for certain, but still always check with your doctor, 100%. Yes.
You do realize that you're talking to a little bit older people, and every one of us loses our balance.
Yep.
And it's very hard, honey, to realize that food and things like that could help us. But the truth is, as you get older, you do lose your balance.
Yeah. Absolutely.
No matter how many vitamins, no matter how much exercise, you're going to lose your balance. That's the reason why a lot of people have to use these, and canes.
Oh, yeah.
People people that do need to rely on something need encouragement.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, Fern. And that's why we're doing these educational pieces, to help.
Number one, you do help us. Number one, you do. You've been a big help to all of us here.
Aww.
I look forward to going to the pool because I know it's good for me.
Yeah, it is.
Definitely.
I'm very happy to hear that, Fern.
Thank you, honey. And the more people, I think the men here, excuse me if there's any here, but I think the men here are kind of lazy.
Well, there's nothing
Well,
for them to do.
Well,
They are.
Well,
And they don't want to get out to the pool.
here's the thing. You're absolutely right, Fern. But again, to each his own, right? You know, it's there, and it's for everyone. You can get in the pool if you're a man. We have men that are in here that go into the pool, which is
I hope
awesome.
so.
Yeah, Tom, he goes all the time. So
He's great.
that is something though that
You need to talk to the men.
that's something that comes back to balance.
Every time I
Fern.
meet one, I tell them, come to the pool.
Yeah.
They do something else.
So
Or maybe they exercise
you got a vendetta against them. So that's where it comes back to balance. Like that's something that's out of your control. You can't control that. So kind of like don't even worry about that. You know, we focus on what we can control. And what is that? That is you coming out there.
My foot in front of the
Yeah.
other, trying to be strong.
We mean balance in life, not balance physically. Like just
what I'm
overall
talking about.
balance. Overall balance. So if they come or not, Fern, that's on them. You know, you're doing what you can do, and you're getting better and better. So that's all that matters. But yeah,
We're tough, honey. So.
I know you are. So a little.
Keep
I don't know
pushing.
if everybody knows
And
this or
it's a
not.
nice idea to bring her into us.
Yeah. I know you're getting tired of seeing my face, so I want to bring you somebody else.
That's the first time we've had this kind of a meeting.
Well,
It's been very nice.
Good.
but I'm glad. Like you have me now. So, and I don't know if you guys know this, but Fern, talking about doing amazing things in your life, she jumped out of an airplane at 85.
Yeah, I didn't retire from work until I was 85.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I was teaching until I was 85.
See that? And she was teaching till she was 85.
Yeah.
We're tough women.
I know.
Very tough.
I know. And I'm happy that I'm able to spend some time with you all. But thank you everybody so much
Yeah,
for
thank
coming
you
out here.
guys. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Thank you, honey.
Of course.
Sweet woman.
Yeah, and if you guys have any questions about the supplements, you can come up.
Take some medicine.
Yep.
Some